Whether you are publishing high content or low content books on Amazon, it's essential to recognize that people do judge your book by its cover. Therefore, to sell more books on Amazon, you need to use design techniques on your book cover to grab buyers' attention among the other books on the search results page. In this video, I will go over the 6 focal point creation techniques I mentioned in one of my earlier videos once more. If you haven't watched that video yet, these techniques are sure to help your Amazon KDP book stand out. So keep watching till the end. The first technique for creating a focal point is the size of the object on your cover. This object can be your title text, an image, or an illustration. I would like to share an image with the text that I also posted on the community tab of my channel last week. Some of you may have already seen it, but if you haven't, it could be interesting. Alright, please read the text now. Most of you probably read this first, followed by this one, then this one, and finally this last. Multiple focal point creation techniques are used here, which we will explore later, but the most powerful one is related to size. A larger object tends to dominate smaller, similar ones. In our example, the objects are these texts, and the larger text becomes the focal point. That's why most of you read it first. Keep in mind that size isn't the only reason. Although there are other reasons, size was the most influential factor in this example. Alright, imagine this as a book cover. We have got two objects here, one larger and one smaller. Notice how the bigger text Self-Publishing 201 dominates the smaller text. People tend to read the larger elements first, which automatically makes it the focal point of our straightforward book cover design. Now, why does the size of your focal point matter, especially when you are selling books online, like on platforms such as Amazon? Well, think about it. Potential readers or customers encounter your books first in thumbnail sizes. So, if your focal point is text, it needs to be readable even in those tiny thumbnails. And if it's an image or an illustration, it should still be visible at that scale. That's why it's crucial to check your book cover designs in thumbnail size before you hit that publish button. Alright, let's dive into the second technique for creating a captivating focal point in book cover design: contrast. In simple terms, contrast is all about differences. You can use contrast in various ways to make elements stand out. Valley contrast is the most common type of contrast. It's related to the darkness or lightness of a color. Imagine a book cover with a dark background and light text. The stark contrast naturally draws attention. So if you want to strengthen your focal point, consider adjusting the color values. In addition to color contrast, shape contrast works well to make elements stand out. Suppose your book cover features circles. Now add a single square to the mix. That square instantly becomes a focal point because it breaks the pattern. Similarly, if your cover is full of large circles, a small circle would stand out. The third technique of creating an eye-catching focal point is the placement of the object on your book cover. Your focal point can be positioned anywhere in your design. However, objects placed near the center tend to grab our attention more than similar sized ones in other areas of the cover. In our example, if we shift the Self-Publishing 201 text toward the center, our focal point becomes even stronger. The fourth technique for creating a focal point involves isolation. Isolated objects attract more attention than other design elements on a cover. To illustrate, consider our example. If I want the text Self-Publishing 201 to stand out, I would separate it from the surrounding elements. Currently, there are only two objects here. By adding similar objects to create a crowd, we enhance the visibility of our focal points. Notice that when objects resemble each other, our brains group them together, allowing the separate one to capture our focus. Even if we change the wording in this text, the result remains consistent as long as the font, size and value remain constant within the group. In cases where space is limited, you can use frames to isolate your objects. Drawing circles or squares around an object can effectively draw attention to it. The fifth technique for creating a captivating focal point is pointing. Our eyes naturally follow lines and movement paths So, strategically positioning an object at the end of such a line or path can make it a strong focal point on your book cover. Now, in our example, our existing focal point is already quite visible. However, imagine adding a line like this. Your eyes would instinctively follow it, emphasizing the focal point. This technique becomes especially valuable when you have illustrations on your cover. Remember, you don't need to use all these techniques together. Experiment with combining some of them until you achieve the best results. Now, I want to show you this image again. I think you can better understand why you read this part first. It's because its size is larger than the others. It has the greatest contrast between dark and light. It's positioned near the center. It is isolated with white space. Another effective technique for creating a strong focal point is using images of eyes and faces on book covers. Our natural tendency to seek eye contact makes these visuals highly attention-grabbing. When you incorporate eyes and faces, consider the direction of their gaze. It can express emotions or subtly guide attention. Just as we instinctively follow someone's gaze, a pointing finger also directs our eyes. Professional book cover designers leverage eye and face imagery to captivate readers. Let's summarize what we have learned so far by examining the evolution of our simple book cover design. While I intentionally exaggerated the design by incorporating all the techniques, it's essential to remember that you don't need to use every technique in a single book cover. Instead, focus on the necessary ones to create a stronger focal point. Here is what we did step by step. We enlarged the text Self-Publishing 201. By making the text darker, we achieved the greatest contrast on the book cover. We repositioned the text around the center. We made a crowd with other objects for emphasizing our focal point and isolated the focal point using white space. Although not strictly necessary, we drew a circle around the focal point to enhance visibility. We placed the text on a line and encouraged the reader's eyes to follow it. Despite some unnecessary steps, I think the final version looks better than the initial one. What are your thoughts? Please write in the comment section. I hope this video was helpful. If you think so, please consider subscribing and liking the video to support the channel. See you soon.